Caves of Androzani is regularly voted one of the best Doctor Who stories of all time. And I'm not going to disagree. Graham Harper's pacey direction combines with Robert Holmes' ultra-dark script to take it head and shoulders above the rest of the season. It's not perfect, but it ensures Peter Davison's run goes out on a high note. The first episode gives you a tantalising glimpse of what could have been if the Fifth Doctor had only one companion. Peter Davison and Nicola Bryant only have a few scenes together to establish their relationship, but their rapport is evident from the start, and it makes his eventual sacrifice to save her all the more convincing. Davison seems to relish the chance to play the Doctor as more quirky and eccentric than usual, and his performance seems to have a whole new lease of life here. He could easily have carried on another year or two, given scripts of this quality. The first cliffhanger is one of the best in the series, as the Doctor and Perry are seemingly gunned down by a firing squad with no hope of survival. Finding out they were actually replaced by androids who look and sound exactly like them might seem a bit of a cheat, but they have already established that androids exist in this world, so it does make sense. Their creator, Sharaz Jek, is a highly memorable villain in a distinctive black and white leather face mask, who may well have inspired Scorpius from Farscape. Christopher Gable gives a superb performance. His voice and physicality combined with the costume to create a memorably creepy character, with an obvious interest in Perry, although if he can duplicate her so accurately, it's not clear why he needs the real thing. He could just make another android copy and enjoy her company instead. Morgus, played by John Normington, is the other main villain, although none of the characters are entirely sympathetic. He spends most of the story stuck in his office, but he is constantly monitoring events down on the planet, playing off all sides against each other for his own profit. He's basically one of those billionaire CEOs that you see on the news all the time lately. So far, none of them have gone so far as to kill the president, but I guess it's only a matter of time. His soliloquies direct to camera are a very Shakespearean touch, making the viewer complicit in his ruthlessness. In fact, it's a very strong cast all around. We also get Maurice Rose as Stotts, the cynical gunrunner who has no compunction about double-crossing absolutely everybody, and Robert Glenister as Salatine, who shows up both as a human and an android, and does a fine job as both. The whole story revolves around all of these characters playing off each other, betraying and stabbing each other in the back until they are all dead. It's a very dark and cynical story, even more so than Earthshock or Resurrection of the Daleks before it, and I believe the next couple of seasons double down on this, with even darker stories, which is understandable given how well this one turned out, but they never reach quite this level of quality again. Graham Harper's direction is a big part of what makes the story work. Slick and fast, with a filmic feel unlike anything the show has seen in years. The action scenes are particularly effective, with the Doctor crashing the spaceship at the end of Part 3, and running from the gunrunners in Part 4, all feeling very tense and exciting. Not everything works. The Magma Beast is the weak link, another creature that barely moves and looks totally fake, but at least its scenes are kept to a minimum. The ending has the Doctor venturing into the caves to find the antidote to the sickness that's killing both him and Perry. Again, those scenes don't look great, but at least they are short. Why the Doctor didn't just drink the milk straight from the bat and cure himself before taking the rest back to Perry remains a mystery. But of course it is all leading up to the big regeneration scene. I guess you could charitably say that he wasn't thinking straight at the time. The regeneration scene itself is iconic, and it has been copied by many of the regenerations in the new series, taking place in the TARDIS, with only the Doctor and possibly one companion, visions appearing of all the past companions that Doctor has had, and the new Doctor saying a few words at the end. It's particularly effective for anybody like myself, who's just watched the entire run of this Doctor, with all the old regulars coming back to say goodbye for one last time. Colin Baker's first words are deliberately antagonistic. It's a brave choice to make his character so unlikable from the start. Ultimately, that may have contributed to the show's falling ratings and eventual cancellation, but I'll probably talk about that more as we go along. The DVD has only about 15 or 20 minutes of extras. There are some more on the Revisitations 1 box set, but they will probably carry over to the eventual Season 21 Blu-ray. The longest is 7 minutes of studio footage of the regeneration scene, which is quite interesting. Creating Sharaz Jek has the actor Christopher Gable talking about what it was like to wear the mask and also the face makeup. There's an extended scene of Stotts fighting with Kelper, and 3 news reports announcing Peter Davison leaving the role. with John Nathan Turner announcing that he wanted somebody older and crabbier to take over, which he got, for better or worse. Overall, an extremely bleak but very well made story. It might not be the best ever, but it's certainly the best of this season. I'll give it 9.5 out of 10. So that's the 5th Doctor's era all done. Only 10 more to go. That could take some time. I won't be moving on to the 6th Doctor era just yet. Next week I'll be presenting my top 25th Doctor stories to round off the era and give my final thoughts. After that I will be reviewing the War Games in Colour and Joy to the World at some point over Christmas. I'm not sure when exactly, but I will carry on with the Twin Dilemma in January. If you like the sound of all that, then please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.